On Tuesday, as the DNC convention was getting underway, Florida school boards were holding elections that ended up going sideways for conservatives, especially the ones backed by Moms for Liberty. The Associated Press reported that the incumbent school board members in one of Florida's largest swing counties that were challenged by candidates backed by DeSantis and Moms for Liberty ended up holding onto their seats. Right-wing activists had hoped that the three challengers endorsed by the local chapter of Moms for Liberty would win a conservative majority in Pinellas County. That did not happen. Awesome. Now, results showed the current school board chair, Laura Hine, and incumbent member Eileen Long held on to their seats. In the third race for the open seat of Pinellas board, candidate Stacey Geyer and Katie Blatsberg will be heading for a runoff. Hine, the board chair, carried 69% of the vote over DeSantis-backed challenger Danielle Maroff's 30%. Incumbent member Long brought in 54% of the vote over the 45% netted by Erica Picard, who was endorsed by the anti-woke Florida governor. In the third race for the board, Stacey Geyer actually only garnered about 37% of the vote compared to Katie Blacksford's 34%, with the third candidate getting about 28%. So that's why they're going to a runoff. Geyer was endorsed by DeSantis in the local chapter of Moms for Liberty, while Blacksburg has argued that these so-called parental rights activists, which really it's not about parental rights, it's actually mainly about trying to get rid of LGBTQ plus people. She says that they've gone too far, with some equating books with pornography and labeling teachers groomers. She ended up being targeted by conservative activists online for opposing the book bans. She said the misinformation that has been spread by this group of people and the intent to place mistrust in our teachers, people are tired of it. Indeed. So best of luck to her in the runoff election. In neighboring Hillsborough County, home to Tampa, two current board members whom DeSantis wanted out, staying on. So they won their elections. Incumbent Nadia Combs received 52% of the vote over the 37 pulled in by Layla Collins, who was endorsed by DeSantis. Jessica Vaughn pulled in 58% of the vote compared to the 41% earned by DeSantis-backed Myasha Powell. Collins and Powell are among the 23 school board candidates that DeSantis had endorsed in the cycle, and so add two more L's to that list. Now, not only did DeSantis-backed challengers lose their races to incumbents, but DeSantis-backed incumbents also lost. So here's the thing, right? You could argue for the other races, well, they're incumbents, and so they have an advantage, right? That's generally true in elections. However, DeSantis-backed incumbents, they also lost. In South Florida, for example, two conservative-leaning board members who were appointed by DeSantis to the board in Broward County lost. Tori Alston and Daniel Fogenholdy were both appointed to the board in 2022 and 2023, respectively, and voters decided, no, you're fired. We're going to get rid of you.
You're fired.
Fired. Fired.
With 100% of the Broward precincts reporting, Mara McCarthy Bowman carried 51% of the vote over Fogenholdy's 19%. Rebecca Thompson took 66% of the vote over Alston's 33%. The three elected incumbents running to keep their seats in the Broward board, Debbie Hickson, Jeff Holness, and Sarah Leonardi, each won by more than 40% margin. So that is a blowout. It kind of looks like that whole war on woke thing isn't exactly translating into, electoral success. Who could have imagined? Oh, right. Pretty much everybody. Look, who knew that banning books and calling teachers groomers would, not turn into electoral success, would turn people off from their candidates? Everyone who is not weird. Yeah. But that's not all. Ashley Brundage, a DEI educator and out trans woman, so definitely somebody who is part of the woke.
The wokers.
Okay. She actually just won a primary election with more than 81% of the vote. Now, she's going to be going against a incumbent Republican, Florida State Representative Karen Gonzalez Pittman, in November. Now, wait a minute here. Oh, but this is a primary. It's Florida, right? I mean, doesn't that mean that she'll lose? Not necessarily. Brundage's opponent, in the general, voted in favor of the Don't Say Gay legislation, and of course she voted in favor of book bans in school libraries. Not exactly things that have helped the average Floridian. Now, of course, she's also going to be backed by DeSantis, but funny enough, Brundage has some personal beef with DeSantis going back to 2022. Now, Brundage is an author, and she was given the Spirit of Community Award by the Florida Commission on the Status of Women for bringing in tens of millions of dollars to the Tampa area with an international economic empowerment conference. Awesome. Now, for her activities, Brundage received a letter of congratulations from Governor Ron DeSantis. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of economic activity to bring to the state. Now, that said, he didn't know it at the time, but Brundage is trans. In fact, later on, he told the Daily Mail in an interview, after he found out, that, oh God, if I knew she was trans, I would have never given her the award. Wow. I mean, just out and out open bigotry. Forgetting that she had brought all this money and economic activity to Tampa. But no, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because she's trans. She's a woker. She's one of them transgenders, and we don't like that here in Florida. No, you don't like that here in Florida. Right? But it turns out most people don't care. Now, here's what she said in response to DeSantis. Quote, I still brought in $12.5 million conference, stunning out 2 entire hotels and a convention center for the city of Tampa. I still did that. I still created a scholarship foundation for youth, and I still mentored children and women in my community through financial literacy educational programs for free. None of that has changed. But because he knows my political affiliation, all of a sudden, he wants to say that he wouldn't have given me that award? And that's exactly what's wrong with our political world right now. Partisan politics get in the way of actually accomplishing things that are good for our economy. Yeah, I mean, that hatred and bigotry has a tendency to get in the way. Yeah, nailed it. These people like DeSantis are too worried about owning the libs and the transes and whatever, that they're shooting themselves in the foot. Especially electorally. People don't go to the polls due to hating trans people. That's not a driver of electoral success. And we've already seen examples of that. Doesn't affect their lives. People go out to vote for things like higher wages, better working conditions, lower inflation, things like healthcare, better communities, safer communities, things like that. Look, there's an insurance crisis going on in Florida right now, which is devastating. It's devastating homeowners, all right? And the governor apparently is too busy trying to put Moms for Liberty people on the school boards so they can fight against the wokeness. Is fighting the woke going to raise your wages? No. Is it going to make it easier to pay your bills? No. Feed your family? Of course not. No, this is a solution in search of a problem and a distraction from the incredibly high rents and costs of living in Florida thanks to conservative rule. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.